From heavy-spitting juggernauts who have multiple albums under their belt, to features with the likes of Lil Wayne, and rap offerings so bad they deserve life in a maximum security penitentiary. This is a list of NBA players who can also rap. Let's start off with an ode to the 90s and Big Shaq, which shouldn't come as a surprise considering Shaq has dipped his toes into the entertainment industry before. But unlike his infamous role as the genie in Kazam, it's so bad it's remembered today under a completely different name, Shazam. Played by a completely different actor as the genie in comedian and actor Sinbad that never even existed in the first place. And no, I'm not making this up. Shaquille O'Neal was the main attraction in a children's movie that's so bad, people confused it with a movie that doesn't exist. In this universe at least, as many say, it's proof of the Mandela effect. But that's all water under the bridge compared to his endeavors into the music industry. Endeavors so successful, he's to date the only NBA player with an entire album to go platinum. Yes, Shaq has a rap album with more sales than the majority of rappers have in actual sales throughout their entire careers, which is saying something. He does and still does have talent, so much so that it isn't hard to see Shaquille O'Neal making it as a rapper if his place in the NBA Hall of Fame never panned out. Watching the video and listening to the lyrics of his classic Can't Stop the Rain with the Notorious B.I.G., you'd be forgiven if you thought this was a track from a famous rapper of the late 90s. If you lived under a literal rock or woke up from a 40-year coma, that is. As Shaq lyrically bombs his competition and embodies his inner gangster in suits that he stole and resized from Tony Montana.
Go on, you stone.
No, really. The white number halfway through the video is a dead ringer for Al Pacino's most well-remembered outfit in Scarface. And just to remind all you new cats on the block that he still got it, who can forget the time he bodied Damian Lillard with Freestyle diss track in 2019? Speaking of Damian Lillard, or Dame Dollar as he's known in rap circles, other than bringing Shaq out of rap retirement, he's a bit of a rap aficionado himself if I do say so myself. The man's got skills in and out of the court. Not only has he been blazing literal trails since 2008, accumulating as many plagues as he has money since then, but he also boasts a very accomplished rap career.
Now we know.
Hell, at this point, he should look into running for president in the future and thinking of everything he's accomplished. He might just win.
Damian Lillard, Oakland's finest, man.
He really is a jack of all trades, a master of them all. He has all the skills an alchemist need in the booth to produce that fire. And other than 3 critically acclaimed albums, he's bagged features with the likes of Lil Wayne just to flex on all you posers in the game. And then we have the legend incarnate, the man Kobe Bryant himself. I mean, his place in the game will forever be cemented in history, and our hearts truly ache at the loss of his colossus in basketball. But I bet you didn't know he rapped too. And yes, his rap outings may not be as mainstream as Lillard or O'Neal's music careers, but it's probably because he was too busy dominating the Toronto Raptors off an 81-point high, second only to Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points at his iconic 1962 game at Hershey, Pennsylvania. And this was at a time that the Lakers were comprised of an extremely mediocre team, and Kobe carried them to glory that night. So the fact that he rapped it all gives him a place on the podium of NBA rap legends. Not that he needed that to be a legend, right? But if anyone deserves props for spitting bars, it'd be Kobe. Not that he'd need the props to be immortalized as a legend who will live on forever in our hearts. In his rap debut, aptly named Kobe Bryant Rap, because it's Kobe, and Kobe doesn't need any fancy rap titles in his songs, of course. Thank you. In it, you can clearly see that Kobe draws heavily on R&B influences in an old-school banger that's straight out of the 90s. My man's looking dapper in a fresh-pressed suit too. And although the production quality isn't the best, the video isn't anything different from what you would expect from a career rapper. And have you listened to some of the stuff on SoundCloud? So don't go throwing stones if you live in a glass house now. But beyond that, it really is nice seeing a more humble, goofy side of Kobe when he's not making light of his opponents on the court.
This is what I miss.
Another NBA All-Star who dabbles in rap is Sacramento Kings power forward and center Marvin Bagley III. The Arizona native is another entry to the list who's known to drop some bars. And bro got some stage presence, I'll tell you that much. Sure, Bagley's still a youngin' in the NBA, but he's fiending for a shot at the title. That's probably why he went for the jugular when he ignited a rap beef with Dame Dollar. Really, the NBA will have to start its own record label at some point because there's some real talent brewing in their midst. The caliber of bars that came from the back and forth between the two can put the catalogs of career rappers to shame. Either this is a genuine beef as the newcomer seeks to make a name for himself by going for the king, or is it a pure stroke of genius for the NBA's marketing team?
We are talking about rap, man, and so I gotta ask you about Marvin Bagley III, man.
I mean, sure, Dame's diss tracks are considered to be slightly better in this NBA square-off, but Bagley's bringing the heat and isn't taking it lying down. In his diss track to Dame, he admits to being a fan but claims that Lillard is inconsistent, and now he's coming for his slot both in the booth and on the court. The tracks being birthed from this beef are straight fire, and I might have to ditch my favorite rapper just to process the shots fired in these songs. In an era where autotune dominates streaming services and lazy raps of debauchery, the rap beef between MB3 and Dame Dollar is refreshing. Really? And the hype is real, y'all? Sure, the Trail Blazers have been taking the lead in their previous matchups with the Kings, in much the same way Dame Dollar took the lead in the rap beef, but Bagley came back with some heat. And the beef has acted as the prelude to the most hyped up Kings versus Trail Blazers game ever.
The best MC in the NBA is either you or Damian Lillard.
Man, me, man.
We honestly need more rap beefs between players before games, and all that pent-up energy that has been building up between Bagley and Dame can be quashed on the court.
Oh, what a pick that was.
Speaking of ballers with mad skills, next up we have NBA All-Star swingman Stephen Jackson, or Stack 5 as he's known in the game. If you thought that Dame Dollar and MB3 brought fire to the booth, Stephen Jackson's raps are as hot as his rap name. Who else is all for an NBA rap battle royale at this point? I know I am. Stack 5 has a whole mixtape and a full studio album out, and if his song Bullin' featuring Marcus Daniels is anything to go by, he may be the most relatable NBA rapper in this list. Compared to his contemporaries in the NBA who rap channel old school lyrical rap, Stack 5 is a trapper of note. I can definitely envision Stephen Jackson leading the new school of rap in the NBA, the same way he led the Golden State Warriors 07 We Believe playoff. And even though he's since retired from basketball as of 2015, I can see myself tuning into his podcast, All the Smoke, religiously just to hear him spit. But don't be fooled by the catchy tunes and slick punchlines, as Stack 5 is as conscious as your J. Cole's and Kendrick Lamar's in the game. This is Stack 5 has made a name for himself post-basketball by being vocal about his spiritual journey and social justice.
And I was always gravitating towards Islam because I knew the truth.
Something that's apparent in his songs, where he takes a break from flexing in every verse to inspire the hood and champion the cause of change. What else do you expect from a balla with a rap name that nice? Woo! If you're back from your cardiologist after having serious heart palpitations after learning that Big Shaq can rap, let alone enough so that he even had a feature with iconic departed figures such as B.I.G., or rap beefs with a 90s twist to them got you nostalgic for the old days, even if you technically weren't around during those days to genuinely be nostalgic. Hey, I'm not judging you. But if this is the kind of stuff that gets your basketball craving satiated, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get your daily dose of all things NBA, and you can always stay ahead of the action. And then we have the psychedelic raps of Iman Shumpert, the Cleveland Cavaliers free agent. Have you seen the music video for Handlebars? That's some real creativity over there. Not to mention that his raps are up there with some of the best rappers in and out of the NBA. I can see youngins jam into this during spring break. Yes, Shumpert's that good, and the creativity that he puts into his songs is on par with some actual rap heavy hitters. No cap. Did I mention that he's Tiana Taylor's husband? Not that most of you watching this didn't know that already. Explains a lot of the creativity in his songs now that I think about it. But honestly, the level of talent in the NBA is on another level, and Iman Shumpert definitely brings it. And then we have the young Saiyan himself, Lonzo Ball, who already proved that he's on a level akin to his anime hero Goku. When the Chicago Bulls made one of their bigger signings this offseason, when they added Ball to their roster by way of a sign-and-trade deal with the Pelicans, even going as far as giving up combo guard Thomas Satoransky and veteran shooting guard Garrett Temple to Lonzo's previous outfit, the Pelicans. Added to all of that is an $80 million 4-year contract. Talk about bringing the heat. Not only is Lonzo one of the NBA's finest outside shooters and on-ball perimeter defenders, it turns out he's also one of the NBA's finest rappers too.
Lonzo Ball!
Paying homage to every child who grew up in the early 2000s, Hero Goku, in his song Super Saiyan, staying true to his Gen Z roots with a trap banger. This after Lonzo Ball kicked off a storm of controversy when he emphatically stated that Future was a better rapper and had more hits than OG in the rap game Nas, which didn't sit well with fans, New Yorkers, or critics and bloggers in general.
Nas ain't hip-hop,
Because if there's one way to promote your music other than rap beefs, it's by dissing pioneers of the genre. Don't believe me? Just ask Ball himself, who despite being public enemy #1 at one point for his taste in music, is still admittedly one of the better rappers that the NBA has produced in a while, and no one is disputing that fact. And in sticking with the theme of this video and its featuring of NBA players with cool rapper names, we have Lakers starting center Andre Drummond, aka Drum X&D, when he has his rap gloves on. He doesn't have any albums to brag about, and so far we get to hear him go at it in the booth when he's featured or rapping with other people. But from those small previews of his talent, we can say with all assurity that bruh's got skills. This is definitely one NBA star who should grace us with an album, right? So from the Tupac and the Biggie of the NBA to its Kendrick Lamars, and even those who seem to have a little too much to say, these are the top NBA players who rap. And if you like that, be sure to check out our next video, Celebrities Who Can Actually Dunk. If you ever wanted to see comedians who are no joke on the court, rock stars who can really rock it, and actors with more twists than an M. Night Shyamalan movie amongst others. Seriously, what are you still doing here?